Well, you're welcome. To the barber shop. You're welcome. To the barber shop.
Come on, baby, won't you let me in?
Episode number 246, an incredible number of episodes of real live original music out of Hamilton, Ontario. This is Barbershop Podcast from Boxo Studio in the shadow of the great Hamilton Mountain, the blast furnace of live original music. You know it, I know it, it's true. I'm getting the word out right now on the old Facebook. We're on the Facebook, we're on the Twitter, we're on the this, we're on the that, we're on the interweb. Get out there, 3 words, Barbershop Podcast. And that's what we do. We answer the question, who are you and why do I care? And when it comes to original, live, independent music, that's kind of important. We kind of show you what they look like. We kind of let you hear what they sound like. And hopefully you start to form a relationship with something that is good for your mind, good for your soul, good for your spirit, which is live, original music. Now, of course, you're in your living room or in your car. Hopefully you're not in your car driving, watching it on your mobile device. But it's everywhere. When you think about it, it's the newspaper, the AM radio, the portable phone, the television, the movie theater. It's all rolled up into something magical, something right out of Star Trek. And we're part of that, you know, worldwide. There's people all over the world enjoying high definition, high fidelity music. And what we are doing is approximating the experience of going out and seeing it live, because that's what it's all about. You support the band by buying their merchandise. You enjoy yourself and reminisce, listen to their music with their CDs, but you need to get out. You need to go support an industry that is full of artists, and those artists give of themselves each and every night. You can find it and make sure that you do. It's a mission statement. It's who we are. All right. Barbershop Podcast is stoked to welcome these cats to the show. Being a bit of a senior, established man in this scene, they were through some of the ups and downs and ins and outs of the 90s and the O's and whatever followed that, and have resurfaced high enough and close enough to get our hands on them. They are interesting. They are unique. They are great people. And I'm, of course, talking about the Petit Fours. Wonderful little treats. Starting with Tara Smith, Hot Tea. We love Miss Hot Tea, of course. And Brian Mowerly. And, of course, Archibald J. McDonald, Archie J. How are you guys doing? Thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, let's talk about music. We'll go left to right, whatever. Singer, player, dancer. Were you one of those can't keep them down children? Was music part of your daily regimen?
Absolutely obsessed with music videos growing up. I mean, the 80s.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
How could you not be?
Yeah.
Did mostly theater in my younger days. Didn't start this band until the aughts.
Right.
And I love it. Being in a band is where it's at.
Yeah, and it's unique. What you do is unique, and we'll touch on that, you know, after I kind of do the sweep of this.
Sure.
Okay, what about yourself, Brian? Were you always musically inclined?
Oh, absolutely. So keyboards is the thing that I do. This is actually my first experience being in a band. I'm more of sort of like a behind the console kind of a guy, producer level type stuff. So this is a real interesting experience for sure.
Yeah, and to be able to combine it, and this is kind of an open door band, it's one thing I always enjoyed about it is the combination of influences, the acceptance of whatever someone brings into the band. I know a few times, you know, Arch or someone will go and audition for a straight up band, and they'll be like, sorry, dude, you're not really what we're looking for, because you have, you know, a part of what you play is consistently and constantly part of what you play.
Right.
So let's talk about your introduction. You must have always had music around.
Always was brought up in a family that was, you know, music training was important. Arts was incredibly important. They nurtured that and developed me. So I have to thank my parents for a great exposure to the arts growing up. And yeah, because of my piano training, had a very tough time fitting into the 80s rock world. But, you know, as time went on, kind of found my place here and there. And like you said, been working on a voice and a vision for long enough that, after a while, it pervades everything you do.
Yeah. Yeah, because writing is like that. You write from your own experience, but you're writing for, on a much bigger plane for a lot of different people. All right, let's talk about all of your recollections about when you got together and see how different they are. All right, so what was we'll go back this way. What was your first recollection?
We first started the Petit Fours, Tara and I, as a way for me to kind of get used to being in front of an audience by myself as a solo musician, but also give me a little bit of exposure to meet some people. Brian was indirectly there from the very beginning. He helped us produce our demo. This would have been about 2006, 2007. And we really kind of found a home in the absurd melange of our wide and varied musical tastes, and quickly found that we found an audience that seemed to enjoy and connect with that as well. Hearing their old favorites redone slightly differently than they were used to hearing it. It was a great experience, and we're glad to be back. I mean, it's nice taking a little bit of time off to write, to come up with some new vision for the future is really nice. And being back with the band, and the idea of rehearsals and band practice, it's an exciting experience. From an artistic standpoint, it's always a thrill to see how art that you conceive with your mind translates when other people step into the forum and add to it. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, for sure. What about your experience? How do you remember stepping in?
Well, it's easy to remember because it was a couple of months ago. But yeah, I mean, I did
were
do
you
the
aware
demo.
of what they were doing in the day? Or
I was a Petit Fours groupie right from the start.
Cool. What was it about their sound that appealed to you?
It's the jazzy sound. It's the takes on some of the standard songs that we know, just done in a different light. Like when you start doing, sort of loungy / jazzy versions of like standard synth pop tunes from the 80s, well, you've clearly got my attention.
Yeah.
So. For me, my background is like the way I do my own music, but my sensibilities are more to the dance / techno-electronica type of a thing, and I think that's probably why Jay was coming, because he's all about the fusion of styles, right? So, as I guess in a sense, my start was sort of, a very small amount of replacement for a drummer.
Yeah.
But then the whole idea became of let's see what other elements.
So you
can
weren't
be.
intimidated by this at all. You were saying, okay, we can start with something and kind of build it.
I was just like, bring it. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Let's just try some stuff and see what kind of sounds we come up with. And yeah.
Nice. All right. What about you? What was your earliest, bestest recollection of how this A fit into B and this became a concept, which became a reality?
It's funny. Jay and I are a couple, and I don't think when we started dating that it ever crossed my mind that we would be in a band together. I think that was a little bit lofty for what I had planned for my own career. But then he plays such great music, and I already was a singer.
You're spending the time together.
Yeah, exactly.
And you need somebody you trust to bounce stuff off of all the time,
it makes
right?
a big difference being able to
Hack
sit
them to
around in our
pieces.
underwear and stuff.
This is truly awful, Yeah, but
Just to be clear, I wasn't saying.
No.
This was all afterwards. You got to make the anime. That was it. All right, so going out and playing, again, when you don't play the standard fare, sometimes it's hard to get the gigs.
Yeah.
Right? So you surround yourself with other, I guess, artisans and start meeting some interesting people, perhaps playing in some non-traditional venues and whatnot. Is that the case?
We've played a lot of really interesting venues. We've played most of the bars in Hamilton from about 10 years ago that were doing that kind of thing. We've played the Festival of Friends and various things like that. And yeah, it's a bit of a weird fit. People are expecting a blues band a lot of the time, and we're not that.
You're not that. So people are going to ask you to kind of pigeonhole yourself. How do you do it quickly when people ask what kind of music do you play? Ask all three of you.
Punk lounge.
Yeah, I think I like the moniker that we use because it always seems like there's a little bit of a combative, it's a retro lounge feel mixed with a showy kind of Broadway punk.
Yeah.
And you collide those forces together, and it's all kind of different. Even our covers, our originals, it seems to be a great melange.
That's one reason we even picked the name we did, the Petit Fours, because I figured, you go to a party, they bring out little cakes. They're all different, but it's still something
It's
that
still
people
part-
tend to enjoy. Yeah.
And it is. It's an artistic expression, and it's well done. And I guess there's no better way to demonstrate than to do a song. What's the first one you've got picked for us tonight?
This is We. This is definitely a love song.
Love song. So other than that, that's all we need to know about it?
I think so.
All right. A good love song will tell you what it's all about. And who doesn't love a good love song? Because we sure do. And you're going to hear it at the Petit Fours right here on barbershoppodcast.com.
Daylight, you see, I smile. Yes, please. We got no reason to fear the light. I smile, you laugh. We cry and wrap each other in each other tonight. We know. So we will, we go back and forth and then we rock, we roll, we kiss. We know tomorrow we're gonna get to do it all over again. I love the we in me, I love the we in us, you see. I love the you, baby, and you and me. You and me. You and me. Late night, it's dark, we sleep. Your heart beats my name from the other side of the bed. Morning never comes as fast as saying your name over and over inside my head. I love the we in me, I love the we in us, you see. I love the you, baby, and you and me. 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 You and me, baby.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like this every week. There is discoveries to be made in the world of music. Getting out and finding it. It's like a challenge with a great reward. And we all remember like finding new music when we were in our teens and in our 20s. Going out and celebrating that, coming back and talking about a new band or something. So let's speak to that. How do you see music as it was in your life and how it is today?
Well, I certainly can't speak to my friends, but I tell you, the music seems to be the one unchanging. I mean, it is evolving in its own way, but it's been a central theme of my life for as long as I can remember. Really, it's kind of one of those stable forces in my
unwavering,
life
and to have that.
As chaotic as the world is around, and we were talking about this before. There's always this thing you can go back to. That's there. It's solid. It's always new. It's always fresh. It's always comforting, and that's an amazing feeling, And I'm with you right there, bringing that new record home.
Yeah,
and that
sweet
delight, zeal, peeling off that plastic, and
a physical product is important. And in the digital world, it's an element that's been lost. As people talk about the courting process and the dating and seduction, and how important it was to be good and to be funny and to be patient and to smell good and to be, all of these things that make us better people have been robbed by Tinder and things like this. And frankly, music is one of these things. And we always, use that analogy. It's like whole food, real food. It's you look at it in that fashion. You're willing to pay for better quality because you know that is sustaining. So don't take the free sample. Remember, when something is free, remember. It's not free.
Yeah.
You're the product.
Yeah.
So we do this every week. It is good. Share it if you like it. Share it on the interweb. It's going to be all fun and all good. We've got some music and videos. You guys are always creative, always able to put stuff down. First one we're going to play is 2 Nights in Tel Aviv. Tell me the story of this song.
This was a song that I wrote several decades ago, but an experience of being lost and alone in a foreign country where I'm sure some people can realize, when you feel displaced from your home, you have those thoughts of home. And there's a moment, maybe not everybody experiences this moment, but there's that moment where when pressed, you realize you might actually die far from home.
Yeah.
And that sense of wanting desperately to get home.
Yeah.
I think that's what this song is truly about.
It's cool. We've all felt it. You're going to feel it again, but you're going to feel it on barbershoppodcast.com.
I'm a simple man. I dream in simple dreams. I walk the simple steps of life upon this earth. Where did it all go wrong? Where did the journey stray? Was it something deep inside of me? I'm a sheep, lost in the folds of the slaughterhouse, eyes wide and terrified. I can still hear the guns calling out to me. Die, motherfucker, now. Had a taste for everything, little loose obsession under the collar of my youth. But it all happened so fast, darkened street in Tel Aviv, bare teeth, panic smile, and now the streets are all laughing at me. Sudden shots, freckle the night, who knows where, God knows why. They sing in staccato to me. Die, motherfucker, now. Die, motherfucker, now. I'm so far from home, I'm crying out in English. I cannot feel the blood, I cannot feel an exit wound.
All right, there are some crazy people who have influenced you over the years, people who have not followed the standard course. We've lost a lot of great artists this year, ones that reminisce and just flipping around some names like Beck. He's still alive, but I mean, his influence was huge, that legitimizing the fringe somehow. Were you guys hard and fast on that? It seems like you're a group who's never been kind of apologetic whatsoever about what you do and how you do it.
My tastes in music have always been a little off what
Eclectic,
people like.
we call
Yeah,
it,
for
yes.
sure, for sure. Big Cure fan, big Duran Duran fan. Not that those aren't huge acts, but trying to tell people you're a Duran Duran fan is not a popularly received thing. So,
but things stick with you when you say, I like nice harmonies and melodies.
Yeah.
I like certain panache to the music, having it be a show. And I think a lot of people kind of forgot that. We went through an era where the show part was somewhat neglected. All right. Live music. I often ask people when they come on the show what they're listening to, or if there's something, a band or an individual that has come to mind recently, or that you've kind of would consider, this is someone that probably never would be discussed or really heard from, but if someone's watching the show and they're kind of digging what you're doing, and there's someone out there that they could research on the internet and listen to, who would just be a random name that you would throw out there that someone should acquaint themselves with them? So many, right? As I'm
So
saying.
many, and not just on the wider scale. I mean, so many right here in the city where I look to these people as being really at the forefront
World class.
of doing something different,
World class.
and new, and taking old stuff from the past. Famous comes to mind immediately. Where I think the first time I saw them, it was like, whatever this is, I love it.
Yeah,
Like,
so I was transported to 1933
and there's
with
something
not a sense
there.
of irony at all.
No,
Yeah.
and you're right there. You're right there. It's someone like Randy Newhoff, I believe it's 2 Times the Mono, made an amazing album that really did touch me, moved me when I heard it. So much work went into that album, and it just came out as some strange inter-genre product, something real, like we were talking about, something real and tangible that you get, that is part nostalgia and part science fiction thriller, Yeah.
I like Chris Cracknell.
Chris
Cracknell,
Cracknell.
Crackers, and he's come in here, played accordion on a few things, but just what a vibrant mind.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Individual. And what about you, Brian? Anyone come to mind that you?
For me, see,
Bon Jovi.
absolutely Bon Jovi. Well, here's the thing about that. Like, I'm still in discovery stage right now. Like, I'm sort of new to the scene. I can tell you this, being from an electronic background, back in like the 90s and so forth, if a song had a guitar in it, I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
But now I realize in my advanced years that I really cut myself out of a whole thing.
Yeah.
A lot of really good music out there that I didn't get to experience at the time. So I'm like, my mind is sort of
That's
wide
so
open.
interesting, because I was like, my nickname in college was Relic, because instead of liking Depeche Mode and The Cure and the Smiths, I liked still CCR and
Which I
Led
love,
Zeppelin and
CCR.
whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But there was a concerted effort to replace the guitar with the keyboards and the saxophone in the 80s, and the keyboard, or the guitar was reduced to, well, some electronics sometimes made it a nice pad or whatever, a bit of a percussion instrument, but it changed. And it's interesting how both of us have kind of, I've come to appreciate, especially the stages when there was mono synths, when people were just struggling with the technology of how do I make a legitimate, pleasing sounding digital keyboard.
Yeah.
And then the ability when polysynth came out where people could actually make chords.
Yeah.
And then you're at the point where the realism is such that it sounds so much like a real, either a grand piano or a beer barrel slightly out of tune piano.
Or an orchestra.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of people who crave that digital sound, right? Is that both you guys appear to me to be kind of wonky that way, that you're fans of the old analog?
Absolutely. I am absolutely a fan of analog over digital. There's a human touch there, where your ears are what's guiding the ship there, and it's where I come from. It's how I was brought up to learn. The synthesizer was on an analog keyboard, an old Juno 60, and it was exciting. I still use that Juno 60 today because it's so thrilling. It hasn't lost its glare for me. It still requires incredible skill and keen insight into your axe. You really got to wield it properly. I love
You revel in the wonkiness of it all.
I do.
Yes. How about you, Brian? You got a whole collection of old dusty analog keyboard somewhere, or you've always been cutting edge?
Not
style?
so much. No, I mean, this is new. This is recent. It's from the 80s.
It's from the 80s, yeah.
But I just got it recently. I typically didn't come from a background where acquisition of such things was, basically in the cards.
You get to be a scrounger.
Which is why I
was like
started
that,
learning,
yeah.
how to do things digital when the technology became more accessible. So
Yeah, and we really are lucky here at Boxel Studios. Say we're broadcasting, high definition worldwide, and for a fraction of what that used to, cost. And now, the digital stuff has become affordable, and the really good quality analog stuff is being sold off on pennies on the dollar, so you can marry the two and have a happy musical life out there. You can. Yeah. All right, let's do another live tune. What's loaded up in the chamber? What's the next round to
Our
go
next
down
song
range?
is Steel Town Girl, which
Girl.
definitely is about a Hamilton feel. Unrequited love this time.
It's too bad. But it is probably going to be one of your new favorite songs in the whole world, Steel Town Girl, the Petit Fours, here on barbershoppodcast.com.
You're all so sophisticated. You're so debonair. I wonder if you even notice me. Do you even see me standing here? How does a girl who wants your attention approach such a worldly man? Designer clothes, perfume. I'd do anything just to touch your hand. From the moment I saw you, I knew I could follow you all around the world. You're oh so sophisticated, but me, I'm just a steel town girl. From the moment you enter till you walk out the door, your eyes are always so far away. Is there someone out there who loves you like I do? Is there someone who wishes you would stay? From the moment I saw you, I knew I could follow you all around the world. You're oh so sophisticated, but me, I'm just a steel town girl.
Absolutely fantastic. Petit Fours here on Barbershop Podcast. You can go search them out on the interweb. You got a site, a CD, they have to chase you down. Is a mystery? Because a lot of times things are in the process. You get pieces, and they're all kind of put together, and then eventually goes to here in a process where it gets spit out on this end. And we often find ourselves in one of these stages before people can get their hands on products.
That's true. We are kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're starting back with Brian, I think we're developing something new.
Yeah, I think the idea was that we've got like a pretty good set now, and we're going to work on studio tracks, and then
people will definitely. It's what your music takes people away, and I think that's one of the great things, that it is effortless to get into. You have no choice. And when music is like that, it is powerful, and it comes from, I think, the conviction of real music. You guys play your hearts, and it shows. All right, Petit Fours here. We're going to give a shout out to our good friends over at H&G Entertainer Services, because as an entertainer, you need to be serviced on a regular basis. You know the deal, right? Sometimes it's your forte, sometimes it's not your forte, sometimes you know someone, sometimes you don't have a clue. But over at H&G, they don't have to know everything. They just have to know somebody who knows something, and they do that. You live a busy life, as musicians often do. You need an extra set of hands. H&G Entertainer Services will help. They're not agents. They're not managers. They assist with the busy lifestyle of musicians, and that's stuff like contracting venues, booking, scheduling, social media, taxes. And trust me, they're good on taxes. They do taxes. They do our books. Something that you're going to need if you are a right-brained person in a left-brain world, and get a hold of H&G. They're going to help you out. All right, Petit Fours, nice to see you back and playing again. Did you talk about the physical aspect of how you feel when you were playing and then going through a protracted period of not playing and then playing again? Are you feeling a revitalization?
It's funny because when we first started, even though I have a theater background, I was terrified getting up to perform in the early days. And then we got into it, and it felt a lot more natural. And we just had our first gig back, and it was like getting into a warm bath. I was so surprised that I felt comfortable without all of the hesitation. So it's great. I'm really happy to be doing it
and
again.
When you feel that cycle happen with the audience, that's something special, isn't it? Yeah.
We have a lot of great fans. I want to
do.
say hi to our fans and our family, because they have been there through all of it, and they're very happy that we're back.
They understand such things. All right, we're going to play, we're doing so much chatting, we got to play some more music. This is off of the CD. This is called Miss Any Day. MISS Any Day. What's the story behind that one?
Well, actually, the song was written for a woman we know, a woman we grew up with in the city, who I'm not going to say I was in love with her. I was definitely enamored by her. She seemed to be a constantly morphing source of wonder to anyone who is from the 80s in Hamilton. I'm sure they know the story. I don't want to just out and say her name, but she knows who she is.
Yes.
So this song was about seeing someone that fragmented and artistic and strangely creative and wonderful.
I gotta love all those great ingredients to put together something that's going to be tasty, and you know it is. Petit Fours here on BarbershopPodcast.com.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Every day I see her walking to and from some other place. She's in disguise, she's incognito, always wears a different face. Is she art or science fiction? I just don't know. She's one part magic, one part real. And look, there she goes. Walking down the street, yeah. but who it is, I just can't say. She's a fearsome force of nature, looking for a home. She's one part magic, one part real. Look, there she goes. Just walking down the street, yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Miss any day.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Here she comes now down the street, the strangest sight you'll ever see. Where she's going, who she's meeting, every step is urgent, fleeting. She's all dressed down in Sunday black. Monday morning, her hair's pulled back while she's walking down the street, yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Like a chalk drawing in the rain. While you watch, you see her change. Miss any day, I see you all the time.
And that's it. Petit Fours, the Petit Fours, little Petit Fours, like you said, they're little individual pastries that you bring out at a high-end tea party.
Exactly.
And it's a part of a set, and it's tradition is kind of nice when you can use that Norman Rockwell kind of snapshot when you want to give an image and it is a kind of an investment when you listen to music that's a little deeper than surface deep anyway. And I like, I have to say the translucent kind of opioid methodology of your music is very good to bring people into a compliant state. And that is what we're after at the end of the day. Not a lot of fighting back. And it is a unification. Music needs to be that way. We are all people, and there's nothing greater than kind of turning someone on to someone you love musically. That's a great way to share so many shaded traits and emotions. A lot of times we're fighting a fight that can't be won. At least as we're phrasing it at that time. But through music and sharing music, it's a great way to begin conversations and to gain a wide perspective. I think that music can be very much a war song, a shout to arms, something that is not necessarily complex, but it can also be the opposite. It can tickle the senses and make us dig a little deeper. And let's hope that you're going to do that tonight. We got another live tune. What are you going to do for us next?
Our next song is The Heap.
The Heap. You gotta love it. We've had a car and relationship that resembled that. You know that. Anything special you want to know about it?
This like some of our songs, this is a song that's been on my fingertips for decades. I played it originally with a punk band in the 90s, a heavy rock band called Sonar Debbie. Was one of my first real good experiences as a band. And we've just changed it from a hard rock song to a kind of morphed it into a sort of a jazz funk feel.
It's got a life of its own. Gotta love it. A story, a song wrapped into one. Petit Fours, right here, barbershoppodcast.com.
I say should end in never mind. That's the way it goes. Everything I do should end in circumstance. That's the way it goes. And everything that I have ever been, and everything that I have seen, and everything I've ever cared about should be written down on stone. Misplaced people's names and numbers. That's the way it goes. I forget stuff that's usually important to me. That's the way it goes. I'm sure it's all piled up somewhere or scattered across the city, please. If these are found and safely returned, they are the things I'll be buried with. Less eye contact, a little more idle chit-chat. That's the way it goes. I should volunteer my services to a home for the insane. That's the way it goes. I'd do a lot better in from the cold. Do a lot better if I was told. Do a lot better if I could hold everything I've ever thought was sacred.
Now, if that song don't take you back to school, I don't think anything's going right. I mean, when you talk about when you play, you play a lot of augmented, strange, weirdo chords. Must drive a lot of people crazy that you play with.
That's the idea.
Yes.
The idea, drive them
That
nuts.
is our game plan
And,
for sure.
and there was always a school that was true to that. That would ride the edge of discordance constantly within a very tight, wonderful 4-hour Dave Brubeck, and these are people who would bring it to our lexicon, in our little cul-de-sac worlds, whatnot. Who were some of the cats who were like real groundbreakers for you? Were you coming up where you were like someone handed you a record and you're like, oh my god?
I think probably it goes in waves. I guess my taste changed, but I think the one mind-blowing movement for me was Coltrane, and hearing the way that he manipulated music seemed to transcend the genre that he had been designated. Like he was a jazz performer, he's a jazz musician. There's something otherworldly about his style that speaks to all the other jazz influences that I've had since. Bill Evans, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, who have sort of found a voice to take simple music notes and find complex feelings that can be pushed behind them. Very, not overly complicated, just complicated
and
enough.
that's what it comes down to when you were playing it, is what are you saying, and not just a F sharp G minor, but what is the absolute heartbreak that you're transmitting. And and even the musicians themselves have a hard time explaining how they do it. It's just, but on any given night you're playing that song a little different,
Right.
depending how you feel. And this is why you're there. Going in live music, it is, especially when you're feeling down, you're feeling out, you go, it is the best medicine.
Oh, it is.
And support it, because it isn't as healthy as you'd like to think, as I'd like to think, as all of us would like to think. It's tough for the owners to justify having music in there. If one of the owners of a place that you do your business with has music, tell him so or her so. Say, thanks for having music in here. That's important to me. Keep it up. Because a lot of times they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and they'll spend money advertising or on a lost leader on chicken wings or something to get people in there. But if you have consistently good music, it's like a menu item, right? People will know, oh, Thursday, that's so-and-so. Oh, that's, you know, they got a really good mandolin player on Wednesdays. Do it. Invest in music. Build your business around it. It won't go sideways. It won't do you wrong. Trust me. Trust Kevy on this one.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to play another CD, another track off the CD. This one is called Come On. And is it, in which way is this come on intended?
Well, I'll be quite honest. When I wrote this song, I wrote this specifically for Tara to sing. And it was an ode, when we were developing the band, it was an ode to John Lennon, because I really got his influence. I mean, he was deeply influential in my musical development, in my on the rock side of it, and I felt like I wanted to do something to emulate his voice and his mindset, not just towards music, but towards each other as musicians. And so that's really the heart of that song.
All right. This is another little sweet slice of the Petit Fours. Come on. BarbershopPodcast.com.
Come on, reach with baby hands across the world. Bring it all home to mother dear. The broken hearts are too numerous to cure in just one day. The poor are too starving to feed. Come on, wave your healing hands, sign out a brave command. Make them see, hear, talk, and walk again. Why don't you? Come on. Why don't you? Come on. Why don't you? Types. Why don't you? Come on. Why don't you? Come on. Why don't you? Why don't you? Come on. Why don't you? Come on. Why don't you?
Let's come on, Petit Fours here on BarbershopPodcast.com. As mentioned earlier, 245. This is 246 episodes, each one jam-packed, full of live original music and a little bit of chatter find out what's going on, what people like, their influences, make a connection, get together with a true love of your life. That would be music. Don't let it fade into the background. Make it your score, not your background music. Speaking of scoring, I want to score another live tune. I want to get right into it. What are you going to do next?
Polizei is next.
Polizei?
Because everybody knows, I think it's common that we live in sort of a police state on a lot of levels. And I think it's important to face that. And of course, we're not saying that
if the police are watching right now, they're really great.
Well, yeah.
We're not completely against the police, but there are bad apples.
I'm telling you, exactly.
If you need a badge and a gun to enforce your will, I suspect that your will might be nefarious.
Well, here we go. There is authority, and there is the man. And this is a statement. This is a song. This is the Petit Fours on barbershoppodcast.com.
Searchlights and guns. They'll come on horseback, they'll come in cars, in big police trucks, and park in your yard with truncheons and guns and vicious dogs. What manner of this is holding up the law? Let's be honest, you and I would feel just as safe without the police. Whether murder or punishment, smoking pot, they'll bust you down and take all you got, and take your children and your home, make you do time. So indiscriminate, just like organized crime. What do you mean holding up the law? What law? Whose law? Let's stick 'em up high. Let's be honest, you and I feel just as safe without the police. The guns chasing guns only catch the slowest ones, while the fast get faster, fatter, and stronger. Let's be honest, you and I would feel just as safe without the police. The guns chasing guns, you only are the only ones living off the fat of the fat of the fat of the land. For liquor and cash and ganja underneath the bed with the searchlights and guns. They'll come on horseback, they'll come in cars, in big police trucks and park in your yard. They'll take your kids and your house, make you do time. But what law? Whose law? Stick 'em up high. Let's be honest, you and I would be just as safe without the police. The guns chasing guns only catch the slowest ones, while the fast get fatter and never seem to die. Let's be honest, you and I, just as safe though the police. The guns chasing guns only catch the slowest ones. They're living off the fat of the fat of the fat of the land. Be honest, you and I would feel just as safe without the police around here.
Yeah, take me away. You gotta love music that picks you up and turns you around, sits you down, and pats you on the head. as you go sailing away. That is a trip and a half. And to embrace such things must be part of your mantra. You can't be a fearful, tentative traveler in this world. I imagine all of you want to make a change, want to stick out, want to make a great record that'll stand forever. And I think everyone should, who is a musician, who dabbles, make a record. Like not just a file on a computer, but make something that they can play somewhere. Great job, guys. And again, evocative of so many. It's so important to give honor to the greats and yet still have your own voice so clearly and resonantly so. All right, we're going to go into video world. Now, you'd be silly not to make a video if you're a band in this day and age. It's how people usually connect, or at least they're willing to connect before they get to the point where they'll just put the earbuds on and listen to you. They want to see what you're about. And you're a band that's very, I don't want to say exhibitionist, but you
Definitely
do.
a visual band.
You're a visual band, enjoy that sort of thing. So how was the process? Well, we're talking about the first video we're going to play, Clones. Is this the cover of the classic? And I've heard this in so many different versions. It is really loved by a lot of people.
It's an unusual song by Alice Cooper. Definitely doesn't sound like his normal material. And I think that's what drew me to it, is it's unique. And not necessarily well known. We try to pick songs that are maybe the second song.
None of us were adjusting to our clone status
right.
when we heard that. And it was like, that is me as a 15-year-old. Exactly. And that's how old I am. I think I was 15 when that came out.
That's where it came from.
Fantastic record. Look up Mr. Vince Fournier. He is a killer. Alice Cooper in the best way. And this is a video, and this is a song. This is Clones on barbershoppodcast.com. You know you got to love music. You got to support music. We're not going to ask much of you except like, follow, share, subscribe, those little things. Click the bell so you get the notifications. Right beside where it says subscribe, there's a bell there. Click that thing if you're watching on YouTube, and it helps with the metrics. YouTube is a bastard, and they control everything. And many times you just disappear unless you make a real effort. To get out there, we are... Now that we're broadcasting live on Facebook and it stays up on Facebook, this show will get hundreds of views on Facebook. And a lot of people who would wait diligently until it was on YouTube just don't bother now because they've seen the show. So we see shows that would get 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 views on YouTube now getting 50 or 60 because they've got 1,000 on Facebook as well. So you got to combine those numbers. But they're two great, for all their problems, they're two big, huge networks of which this show is part of. And all we ask is that if you enjoy it, then share it. Share. There's people out there who value your opinion. They're your friends and they dig what you like. And you probably had a conversation on the way to work when there's nothing good, there's nothing new. There's nothing interesting out there in the way of music. Well, now you know that's bullshit. And you can just copy, click, paste, send. There you go. Barbershop Podcast. Make it happen. We are enjoying the music of the Small Fours here at Boxo Studio. And keep in mind, Boxo Studio, it is a full-service studio. We do records. We do like little records. We do big records. We do videos. Ryan has amazing cinema gear as well as a full clone. You can come in and attack any group of people that you want whatsoever with video and or probably whatever you can strap on a drone. I don't know. But if it's got to do with music, if you need a bio written, if you need something done, look us up over here at Boxo Studio. We do good stuff. All right. Going to get another tune. We're going to do another... Is it a video or a live one? We're going to do it
live.
All right. Yeah. See, I lose track sometimes. It's like crazy. What are you going to do? This is our last live tune, unfortunately.
This is Punk Rock Cake.
Yeah.
This is usually our last tune anyway.
You want to leave that steaming pile of music on the stage. You do it proper. You do it right. Punk Rock Cake, right here on barbershoppodcast.com.
Voice when they say please.
Oh, please.
They're like little pastries.
Ooh, yummy. Petit Fours.
Talk mean streak on their knees.
What?
Who needs personality? Don't they look so sickly sweet? Cute.
Cute.
White.
White.
Cute white chicks on dope. Yeah. Riding high in daddy's car. Thinks her looks will take her far. Don't need books if you've got brains.
I don't get that.
Don't need cash if you've got change. Oh, they're nice. Such a treat. Cute.
Cute.
White.
White.
Cute white chicks on dope. Yeah. Here they come now down the street.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Them big guys in Crest white tees.
Ooh, shiny.
Dressed in safety pins and pleats.
Well, not today.
Punk a cake, oh, what a treat. Some like pie, baby, but I love my cake. My cute, white, cute, white punk rock cake, yeah. Now everybody knows what I'm talking about.
So you mean like girls with weird colored hair?
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Oh, what about like safety pins and plaid?
Yeah?
Oh, what about girls with pink and white and black?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, take me home, Daddy.
Oh, yeah. Coming for you.
Oh, yeah. You know, you want to eat some chicken wings and drink some beer and dance around and have a good time, and that's what it's about.
Swing around.
Oh my goodness, good times there. And doing what you do seriously, but not taking yourself too seriously. A big part of being successful. And the definition of successful, a big part of being successful. To find yourself doing something you love, to do your way. You're a winner. There it is. The last video that we've got lined up is called The Chauffeur.
That is a Duran Duran song that we have borrowed. This video is with our old lineup, so you won't be seeing those people here today, obviously. But yeah, I'm like I said, a big Duran Duran fan, and that's a beautiful song that a lot of hardcore Duranis like.
Yeah.
So we thought we would do a cover of that and make it our own.
Yeah, and you put that spin on it, and it becomes yours. And I've always said, you know, if you're a band, do the covers like you wrote them, you know, literally, like that kind of passion, and put yourself into it. People will appreciate when all of a sudden they realize halfway through the song, oh, I know this song. You know, sometimes it's even half your band, right? All right, this is a classic, well-loved song. Love it in a brand new way. The Chauffeur. This is Petit Fours here on barbershoppodcast.com.
Let's play Duran Duran.
Oh, can I be Simon Le Bon?
Only if I can be Nick Rose.
Okay.
Out on the top plains, the glides are moving, all looking for a new place to drive. You sit beside me, so newly charming, sweating dewdrops glisten fresh in your side. Sun drips down, bedding heavy behind the front of your dress, all shadowy line. The droning engine throbs in time with your beating heart. Way down the lane away, living for another day. The aphids swarm up in the drifting haze. Swing seagull in the sky towards that hollow western isle. My envied lady holds you fast in her gaze. Sun drips down, bedding heavy behind the front of your dress, all shadowy line. Droning engine throbs in time with your beating heart. The sun drips down, bedding heavy behind the front of your dress, all shadowy line. The droning engine throbs in time with your beating heart. Sing blue silver. And watching lovers part, I feel you smiling. What blessed winters lie so deep in your mind? To tear out from your eyes with a thoughtless living, brooding lies. And I'll only watch you leave me further behind. Sun drips down, bedding heavy behind the front of your dress, all shadowy line. Droning engine throbs in time with your beating
Don't you think Barbie is that good?
She wants to go party.
That looked like a lot of fun. Where was that at?
That was so that's the Mohawk Studios. That goes back to when I was a student at Mohawk. And the two musicians, we've been listening to them on the recorded tracks, the drummer and bassist, Bartek Strzelbowski and Jeff Rigoli, amazing musicians.
Good jobs.
Both of them fantastic.
Do you steal it from that jazz program up there? Mohawk? It's world famous. It produces so many awesome unemployed musicians. It's incredible. It's like you could just feed them into the wood chipper. You'd be like,
that's right.
It's quality. And like the jazz guys show up. It's great when they have jazz night at the Cat and Fiddle or whatever. It's like they're just ripping trumpets and solos. It's just so much great music in Hamilton. All right, guys. People want to get. I know you guys book gigs and you got to do some private shows. What's your website where they can get a hold of you?
We can be contacted through Facebook. I'm at ajmusic.ca. That's AJAYMUSIC.ca. There's contact information on the website or through Facebook.
Facebook's great. Find it. PETITFURS, just like it is in the title.
You got it.
You got me. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank
a
you
pleasure.
so much.
Great. Check us out Tuesday, special broadcast. It's on a Wednesday, Tuesday next week. Astrid from the Netherlands coming in here to do a special Tuesday night show. Be fantastic as usual. Love you guys. Ryan and Gary, I'm Kevin Barber, your host. Have a good night. BarbershopPodcast.com.